Challenges that I personally faced in coming into the game. First and foremost, is just being black, trying to be successful in anything, because there's more obstacles. But that's for everybody, so I guess that's for every black person. So I guess that's not that big because we all used to it. Me personally, my own personal challenge would be just trying to come in the same game that my brother is so dominant in. To put it in terms that people could understand, it's kind of like if Michael Jordan's little brother wanted to play basketball. It's like he has such a history of domination in the game, of taking the game to another level, of elevating the game stat-wise, championship-wise, So that would be the similarity, if you can try to make it easy for people to understand. It's the same way for me following my brother in comedy. Little moments in my career, performed at the Apollo, that's always big, just on a personal, for a black performer to perform at the Apollo, a black comic to perform at the Apollo after Richard Pryor had graced the stage, Dick Gregory had been on that stage, my brother had been on that stage, Eddie Murphy had been on that stage, Dave Chappelle, on and on and on and on. So just as far as a young black comic, that's huge. Getting a sitcom, that was a pivotal moment, because that was what kind of introduced me to the world. A lot of people didn't know or don't know that I was a stand-up comic first, because the show really put me out there as a comedic actor. So people didn't really know I was a stand-up comic, so that was very pivotal. It's just all a succession of pivotal moments. I think it's like when people ask a comic, like, what was your big break? I think your whole career is a succession of big breaks. So there's no one break. There are a few that are more memorable, but there's no one that's, better than the other or bigger than the other, because that's your whole career. I don't know what it is. I really, being honest with you, I have no idea what it is. But for some reason, when I say, like you just witnessed my set, and I said a lot of stuff, a lot of sexual, a lot of blues material, a lot of race-related that's really edgy. But I guess I just have this appeal to me that it doesn't come off so hard. So it's like I can almost be mainstream and be dirty at the same time. I don't know how it happened. I guess I just have a likability to me that I think it's just because I talk to the audience like I talk to my friends. It's almost like a conversation with just your buddy, rather than me talking down to a room of patrons, And to answer your question, because I don't know, I kind of veered off. To answer your question, it's very important, because mainstream is not necessarily black, So that's why they say crossing over, which I hate. It's a phrase I hate. But that's what they mean when they say crossing over. It's making your black material relatable to the masses, which is white people. So that's like very important that you can cross over your material and become mainstream. Okay, the Tony Rock Project, what I wanted to do the Chappelle Show. I wanted to do as close to the Chappelle Show as I possibly could. But the Chappelle Show was on cable, the Tony Rock Project is on regular TV, basic TV. So I couldn't get away with the language, I couldn't get away with the content that he got away with. So the project was more or less what we could get away with, but still along the lines of like trying to push the envelope with addressing racism and sexism and ageism and stuff like that. So it was like a watered down Chappelle Show. I wish I could have did more. I had several things that we pitched that we just couldn't do because of the network that we were on. Funny Spot was a great show. Funny Spot was all of us had just got canceled, and I decided, okay, so Dave Chappelle told me one time, never stop doing stand-up, because they can always take your TV show, but they can never take your stand-up. So all of us had just got canceled. My business partner, Enz Mitchell, who owns the Comedy Union, the comedy club we shot the show at, I said, you know what, I just want to go back to stand-up. I just want to go back to performing and just being me on stage, saying whatever I want to say, not relying on writers, not relying on a schedule, not relying on being something that I'm, outside of what I really am, which is a stand-up comic. So he and I went into TV One and pitched this idea, like, let's just do a stand-up comedy show, tape everything, even behind the scenes stuff, and just splice it together, let everybody see what it is to be a comic, and then bring the comics up at the end of the show and let the audience ask the comics questions, because everybody knows a comic. Everybody knows a comic, but you don't know much about a comic. So it was like, we'll give you some insight into the real life of a comic, as opposed to just seeing them do stand up and then leave the stage. I came up in my crew when I came up was Sherrod Small. Sherrod Small is actually on VH1's Best Week Ever. He's doing pretty good. Steve Donovan, a guy out of Boston. He came down to New York and was in the comedy circuit. Rachel Feinstein, funny female out of Long Island. Myself, and we were like the four amigos when we first came in. We all came in within a week or two of each other. Butch Bradley, Mike Young. And these are all guys that I still see around like the comedy circuit. I might run into one of them in the airport, like, hey, where you heading? I'm going to Cleveland this week. I'm in Chicago. All right, be cool. Those are the guys that I'm more closely related to, because we're living the story together. You know, I respect everybody that came before me, especially, you know, Pryors and Cosby's and those guys, but I don't know their story as much as I know the guy who's really right next to me living the story with me. So those guys are much closer to me than the legends. Rock the World Inc. Rock the World Incorporated is it's gonna expand. Rock the World Incorporated, when I first got the TV show, I created a corporation just for tax purposes. So then we're gonna do Rock the World Entertainment, which is gonna be, we'll, you know, try to find our own scripts, write our own scripts to get movies, you know, attach ourselves to some writers to do TV. Rock the World Entertainment was the funny spot. Rock the World Entertainment was the Tony Rock project. Rock the World Entertainment will be the tour that I do this summer. I'm gonna put the money up for my own tour this summer and try to do arenas, like bigger venues. And I'll bring comics in, and, you know, we'll just keep it all in-house. So Rock the World Entertainment will be TV, movies, television, and stand-up comedy tours across the country. Me and my brother are close to working on something. It's in the very, very infantile stages. I don't want to give it away, but if it happens, because a lot of things have to happen for this to happen, if it happens, it's going to be the thing that people have always been waiting for, that people keep asking me about when they see me in the airports and they see me on the street. That thing that you keep asking me about is close to happening. And you know that I know what it is that you keep asking me about. My MySpace, Rock Jokes, TonyRockComedy.com. I'm gonna create a Facebook, because everybody keeps telling me that's like crazy content. So like, I'm gonna start a YouTube page once a week called The Rock Files. Not necessarily stand-up bits, but just stuff that I observe daily. Just like it might be it might be something as simple as how come girls don't like to leave messages, you know, stuff like that. And I'll just do like a 2 or 3 minute little rant on the topic, and it'll be The Rock Files on YouTube. That's actually going to start end of February, beginning of March. Yeah, so look out for that. Hey, this is your man Tony Rock, your favorite comic's favorite comic, and you're watching Guerrilla Journalism. Not gorilla like monkeys, but like guerrilla, like we just set up anywhere and bring the cameras to you and you do it like that, you see? Peace.